excited to be here.
As
This
am
is
I.
Moritz Mohr. I think if I were, okay, hold on. Very important, hang out. They do want to collect your, amazing testimonials afterwards. There are gift bags. Please do not go anywhere. Let's talk about smoking drugs.
I've heard about it, yeah. People seem to do that.
Yeah, I know, funny. I think if I were like a decent human, I would want to start at the beginning of the story, and I would want to ask you about the short and, your vision, and or eventually we'll get to that. But really, what I would want to start with are the weapons.
Nice.
Yeah, right. Thank you, because those are my. It's going to stick in my brain forever. Things like what do we call the knuckle gun?
We call it the punch gun.
Punch gun.
Where did I get it?
Very creative.
So, I actually was thinking when so many people were getting axed in the head, could you take us behind the scenes and could you tell us on set what did that look like? Because what was the actual axe? How did you film such a thing, and how did you turn CG into someone dying?
That's a complicated process, and every scene is different, obviously, and depending from where you shoot it, you need different things and have to do different stuff and have to do different post-production stuff. For the Hilda kill, when she gets axed in the head,
Woo.
it was literally, I think, a little. We basically did it very old school, like the over-the-shoulder thing, so you really don't see where the axe is going, and then we just cut off the tip of the axe and held it there. And then when she rips it out, we have like a bit of blood, and I think we added a little tip then moves away. So
That's
not
awesome.
super spectacular, but it was effective, I think.
I wondered if are any of them green at any point, so you can sort of manipulate them, or?
There was not a lot of green stuff. Like we have a bunch of 5 or 6 screenshots, but mostly background stuff.
Awesome.
Not a lot. Do I lie? let me think for a moment. Yeah, no, there was not a lot of green screen per se, but that also makes the VFX guys' jobs harder. So
Right.
yeah.
It's okay, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Hard work, but worth it.
Thank you.
And punch gun.
Punch gun.
So where did the depths of whose mind bore punch gun? She's my favorite.
Nice. So the punch gun originated in the original trailer, the proof of concept trailer that we did 7-8 years ago, and it was literally we need something cool to fight with. We don't want to do the standard stuff, and so we designed it and built it. And when we shot the feature, we redesigned it and built it again. But yeah.
So many punch guns. How many of you out there have seen the original concept trailer? I believe it was posted on Twitter a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It was.
Okay. Now that you've seen the film, I hadn't either. So when you go now, you can Google it. It's in a Collider article, I believe, and watch it and be impressed because it's so consistent with the feature that you created here. They're just to the untrained eye, it doesn't really seem. It seems like your vision was clear from the get-go.
Yeah, we stayed true to the original trailer, definitely. Yeah, we didn't much stray. There's the punch gun is there, June is there, different helmet, like pink chrome helmet back then.
Except spoiler alert, she tells the cops to fuck off. And they do!
Chrome turns out was also a really bad idea because in a chrome helmet, you can see everything at any given moment. So we had to retouch every single shot. You could always see the camera, always see the lights. It was a pain in the ass, so we didn't repeat that.
Nice. Okay, so some things you learned.
Yeah.
So now that we're talking about the beginning, Let's talk about some of your many influences, because I'm sure that as everyone was watching, there are just so many sprinkles of other things that we love.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like Little Old Boy here, some Shaw Brothers there, you know, and
Yeah.
let's like get into that for us.
There's so many influences, and definitely, yeah. Oh, I'm like Old Boy is one of my favorite movies, and I guess you can tell.
Right.
To some degree.
But what's cool is that it just was like a glimmer, but it's its own thing. If you've seen both.
That's good to know.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a mirror of it,
Yeah.
so it works out.
Yeah, we try not to lean too heavy on, like steal too heavy from stuff. Like always sort of trying to do our own thing and have fun with it. Like, for instance, there's this one, there was this long scene where Boy actually encounters, like on his way into the city, he encounters a horse. And it was a yellow horse for some reason, and he was getting on the horse and just riding through the city. And we wrote it in the script, and then the first images of John Wick 3 appeared online. And it was Keanu Reeves riding on a horse through the city. And we were like, oh. So yeah, let's change that. Yeah. So over the years, over the course of 6 years, there were a few of those things where we just had to change some stuff because someone else had done it. And like another thing, like we have this big cheese grater scene.
Oh, yeah.
But what are the fucking odds of Sam Raimi doing another movie that features a cheese grater heavily? I mean, I just learned this on set basically while shooting it, and I was like, oh, you know, we made a movie with that. And it killed me back then, but then I watched the movie like, oh, it's fine. We're different enough.
Yeah, exactly. There's room for both. What about as a gamer? There's this movie, it feels like a video game adaptation that doesn't suck. And it actually isn't.
It isn't. Like, actually, I always sort of pitched it as a graphic novel adaptation without a graphic novel. So yeah, those are. I'm played a lot of video games, and so yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there.
Let's talk about this cast coming together,
Mm-hmm.
because as a fan of the great Famke Janssen, I'm like, I feel like she does that old school, like doesn't get out of bed for less than $10,000, right? Like Linda Evangelista.
Maybe, I don't know. And she definitely has the aura.
Definitely, she's the best.
Yeah.
So, what was that process like assembling like her? We've got H. John Benjamin doing your narration, Bill Skarsgård, obviously. Yayan Rulan.
Yeah, Yayan was as a mood picture in our first pitch deck. Like, oh yeah, Shaman should look like Yayan. And actually getting him was a dream come true. Like, that was like the jackpot for me as a fan.
Yeah, right? Like,
Yeah.
at what point in the assembling did he come into it?
I actually couldn't tell you anymore. Like, the order of people that come in, because you just cast, and there's like, so many, and then, yes, no, all right, new one there. Like, and it's sort of a long process that took us, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so. Like, it was a long time just casting and getting people. Like, one big thing was we shot in South Africa, in Cape Town, which was amazing, but it's a freaking long flight there. So I think it was like around 30 hours of travel from here, from LA, and some people just they're not into that.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about like Bill Skarsgård's audition for this, assuming that he read for it?
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, I had a call with Bill, and it was great. Like, he's an amazing guy, and obviously an amazing actor.
Yeah.
Like, performing as a deaf and mute guy.
Oh yeah, he can't
but
read
he's
for
so,
it.
Yeah, and he's exactly, he doesn't
Oh my
have
God.
to. Exactly. So,
How
but
many
like,
of you caught that question before I did?
so he's like a super expressive actor, and he can do so many things with his face that are so freaking funny.
Yeah.
And but the big question, sort of after that first call, was like, "Hey, dude, so action? Like, are you into that? Like, do you want to do that? Because it's like a lot of training." And he was like, "Yeah, I'm totally up for it. I love it." And I was like, all right, prove it, basically. You know, like I don't know at that point. But he was in Berlin shooting John Wick 4, and this is where I'm from. And Dave, our action designer. So when he was in Berlin, we asked him to come in for a day, and we did this sort of test with him, like just training, just like handling weapons and just punching. And Dave looked at what he could do, like just physically. And after that day, it was like, all right, we're golden. Like this is awesome. The way he moves and how nimble he is, and if he sort of starts training now and gains some muscle, and then we're perfect. Like,
which you really did.
Oh yeah, and he worked so hard for this. Like he was so committed, and just like getting somebody who's like, yeah, you need to train for 3 months. That's hard. Like lots of people just go like, nah, as long as it's not like a $200 Marvel movie where you're like, oh yeah, you get paid for that. But on a movie like that, like just where you're not getting paid for every single day of training and getting in shape first, that was a big commitment, and it was just, he delivered on all fronts.
Right. I think the thing that I'm going to personally take from the story you just told about him walking in and sort of being very capable is that Bill Skarsgård inherently knows how to handle a knife. Like, that's what I want to believe.
He's from Sweden, like he's, I guess a bit like Canada, you know? Like,
right, so peaceful.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about getting into, like, shooting this as a feature length.
Yeah.
Because you had made it as a very consistent short, but this is clearly a very different animal because everything is, especially the production design, like there's so much more fight choreography. What would you say is the most challenging thing about expanding this into a feature?
It's just a sheer amount of things that you need to look at, like the fight scenes, like how many minutes, how much time does it take to shoot them? If you shoot a guy in the head, you want to see an impact, right?
Yes.
So that's another VFX shot. Actually, it's like 3 pieces. You got the muzzle flash, you got the little shell coming out, you got the smoke, then you get the impact, and maybe the impact on the back of the side, like a little blood. And then suddenly, like everything costs money and time. Right. And so that was crazy. And
did you guys storyboard this?
Like, no, actually the action stuff we didn't storyboard because the way how we did it and how it's I think generally done is you get some stunt guys together and then you choreograph it, you film it with a GoPro or something along those lines, and then you edit it together, and then you have a pretty good idea after, like, and then you look at it, do changes, and then you sort of go, all right, this is our blueprint for the shoot, and then you can shoot it on the day very effectively, and you have a very clear vision at that point. You know what you're doing.
That's cool. So it's like it's previs, but in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. Call it even previs. Yeah.
Huh. Now, do you have any questions out there? I see you right there, so eager.
Yeah, so I saw the movie at TIFF, and I wanted to know what went into the decision to change. I believe it was Bill's voice in the original, and now it's H. John Benjamin, which is a great choice. I just wanted to know what went into that.
It was a process a bit, and it was sort of how you edit, you make changes, and we tried out Bill, and and we thought it worked, and then after TIFF we sort of like, all right, we probably should go back to like just what the audience said, and we had John Benjamin before, so it was not like, oh yeah, we did Bill and then we changed. No, we had John Benjamin before, and then we were like, maybe Bill is actually better, like more emotional, more connected to the character, and then we sort of realized it's the dissonance between the voice and the character and the body basically was always sort of the idea from the start, and after we got the feedback from TIFF, which sort of was a bit of a test screening for us in that regard, we went back to John, and I think it works fantastic. I love it.
It's so, I love his voice.
Yeah.
And it's so,
I could
he's,
listen to it all the time.
I know, right? And he seems like a pretty peaceful dude.
Yeah.
And then over this movie, it turned out great, right there.
Question for you. So great job on the movie, by the way. It was awesome. I loved it. I was squirming. How many days did it take for you guys to shoot? How much improv, what percentage of improv did the actors get shooting those scenes?
So, Alex, do you know how many days we shot? I keep forgetting. 35.
Oh, wow.
35. There was intensive, like we had a second unit and they were also shooting, like it wasn't just like, because you just couldn't do that otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how freaked out everybody is.
I mean, no, we had, it was, obviously, there's never enough time, and you always want more, but I think we just felt good. And I actually got kicked out of the country after the last day of my shooting because my visa ran out on that day.
No way.
Wow, I'm glad you got it done. And
Yeah.
was there any improv in here?
Right, the improv. Yeah. Brett and Shalto, they did a lot of improv. It's like there's this the scene on the marketplace with the speech. I think we did one take that was like 15 minutes long, and it was like, ooh, never. This is never going to make it into the movie. Like, everybody knew it, but it was fun. Like it was really fun.
Okay.
Is there any chance that we might see stuff like that? Like if there's a kind of a special features release for streaming or DVD?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would be nice. I like that.
Please make a
that
note
stuff.
of that.
Yeah,
someone.
please. Somebody make a note.
Right there?
Yeah, I'd love to know, you said you were a gamer.
Yes.
I'd love to know what video games inspired you in making your song.
I got this. I get asked these questions a couple of times, and I really can't pinpoint any. Like, all right, I can pinpoint something. Like, I love Hotline Miami, which is just this super violent 8-bit, no, not 16-bit video top-down game. I love that. A bit of Battlefield, Call of Duty, playing Helldivers now. So. So I'm playing those kind of games. I'm usually playing indie games because I like 8 years ago, right after we shot the trailer, right before we shot the trailer, I had a kid, and you can't like. I played Red Dead Redemption 2, and just like riding through the desert for half an hour was like, this is not doing it for me. Like I need to take care of the kid. I need to get in quick and kill some people and then move on. I can't do 2 hours of just like relaxing and then riding through the desert. So I play a lot of those indie games.
Right there.
Hi, first off, great work. Love
Thank you.
Mine's kind of like a two-part question. So you said it took about 7 years, correct?
Yep.
7 years. So what kept you motivated to see this through and not shelve it? And then also, how was the funding process for you?
So what kept me motivated? We did the trailer in Berlin. It took us about a year to finish it, which is really not fast. And then a friend of mine who worked at a production company was like, "Hey Moritz, I'm going to LA to the AFM, and there's a spot on couch if you want to come." I was like, "All right." Grab the trailer, come here, and see if I can get some meetings, show it to some people, and see if I can sell this thing. And I think I had my 3 meetings, and the first one was just like, "This is really cool. Do you have a script?" "No." "All right, bye." So, and then I had 2 really good meetings, and then the guy actually was like, "All right, don't you have any more meetings?" And I was like, no, I'm done. And I'm here for like 2 more weeks. And he was like, "Oh, all right, you know what? I'm gonna get you a meeting." And that's when I met Roy Lee. and I don't know if you know who that is, but he did all the remakes for the Ring movies, and he was a producer on the It movies and the Lego movie, and even the Departed, because he is, yeah. So I was like starstruck when I met him, and I showed him the trailer, and he was like, and Riley has the ultimate poker face, so you really can't read what he's thinking. And I walked out of there, and I was like, all right, shit, that didn't work. And so I wrote this bit of a kiss-ass email. Hey, nice meeting you. If that isn't something for you, then, well, you give any job for me, like I'm happy to do it. And he literally called 30 seconds later, and I was like, no, I love this, we can do this. And I was like, oh my God, now it's getting real. And then he called Stuart Manisher, who was a manager. And the manager called me, and I was like, I'm gonna send this to Sam Raimi. And I was like, oh God. Because he is a personal hero of mine, like Evil Dead 2 is one of my top 10 favorite movies. And
Clearly.
yeah, and I was hanging out with some friends at Five Guys, and we emailed it. And the email just said, he flipped. And I was like, all right, fucking hell. It's literally the best, like, to that point, besides the birth of my son, it's the best moment of my life. So yeah, and then it just took us, and then we met Sam, Roy, Stuart, we all met. We're like, all right, we're gonna do this. And then it just took us, 6 years, easy.
Your kid's practically driving already.
We had to write a script first, several studios, going indie, meeting these amazing people, Alex Libovici, Simon Swart, and Wayne Fitzjohn, who finally decided that they would finance the movie. And couldn't be happier about it.
What was that screening at Toronto like? Getting to see it on the screen with everybody.
That was scary. That was scary, and I was also super tired because it's like midnight madness. It's
Right.
12, so you arrive there, and it's just this big rush of things, and you don't know where up and down is. And I was on autopilot basically, but it was amazing.
Did everybody tell you afterwards that it went great?
No, I made a grade mistake. Because it was so late, right? And there was a little Q&A afterwards, and it was like 3 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
And we all went out the back, and there was a single guy standing there with this TIFF booklet. And I was like, can I get an autograph? I'm like, yeah, sure. Give him an autograph.
Yeah.
And then we all went home, and there was like, 100 people on the front, just like standing there. Even some friends of mine were like, where are you? And I was like, shit. Why the heck did I do that? I could have used a little
boost.
Sure. Morale boost, yeah.
Oh, God.
You live your
That's okay. They'll find you again. Anything signed. Maybe tonight's the night. Right there.
Was there any action sequence that was your favorite to film, or was there any that turned out better on the screen than when you originally planned it, doing it?
I can tell you what my favorite action scene is.
Yeah.
And that is the last one, the final fight. Like when I first saw the previous for that, I was blown away. Like that, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, and I love that. In my opinion, I love that the last scene, the fight scene of the movie, is the best fight scene of the movie. Like it actually builds up. Like there are other movies where you sort of get the best fights in the middle of the movie, and then it just goes like, okay, ending's fine. But here we get, yeah, exactly. So I love that scene so much, and Dave, Yayan, and Bill, they freaking knocked it out of the park there.
I don't even know if this is possible to answer, but like, where do costumes go when you're done with them? Like, where's the bloody goat?
People steal them.
Really? Do we happen to know who those people are? Like, maybe are they on this stage?
I know some of them. No. Well, that's exactly the point. I'm very bitter about that. Because, as I might have mentioned, I left the day after.
Oh, right.
And there were 2 more days of second unit shooting, which I couldn't attend, which broke my heart. But also, all the costumes were still in use, so They had a great big party and everybody grabbed some shit, and I was not there. I think I got a little patch from the soldiers, and I got a couple of money that we printed especially for that, which is not really in the movie, but I got that. And that's about it. Yeah.
Again, just imagining in my mind that Yayan is somewhere with like the broken pineapple costume, just like chilling in his living room. Is there, like, I've heard that on set Bill Skarsgård can be, like, he's very into everything he does. He's so dedicated.
Yeah.
But is he very intense on the set? I could go all night, by the way, but we've got to wrap up, so make this good.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah, no, he is intense.
Yeah.
Like, but he's an actor, and he's a great actor, and it's just his way of being. Like everybody has a process and their process, and this is like it's just how he wants.
He's definitely not like a prankster, not keeping it light and airy. But what was what was the set like for all of us who now desperately wish we could have been there?
It was great, but it also was hard. Like this is like you have fun, but you also work your ass off and have long days. And after 4 weeks of shooting, and especially Bill had like a really full schedule, like first unit, second unit, go there, and it's really like he performed like a champ throughout.
So serious to the point, 35 days, we get this bloody masterpiece that has been called R-rated Looney Tunes on crack, I think?
Yeah.
Pretty great review. Sometimes movie critics nail it. So everybody give it up for Moritz Mohr. All right, so don't forget, it is super important that when this movie comes out on April 26th, you're all over social about it. Tell all your friends to buy a ticket that opening weekend. Make sure that you give your testimonials to these nice people. Grab your goodies and punch good!
That was crazy.